Azina.
So hi guys, welcome back to my channel.
Nze Prime Minister nze agenda okukola embalirira.
Nedda maama.
Ekirungi okaya n'ogaba.
Nze embalirira yo ndi mutozi.
Kati sooka mpeeyawo ekizike kubanga obwavu bunnuma. Sina na transport.
Njanga osule wali mu kaziga kange ate temuli tooli, temuli siiringi, temuli seminti, temuli ki.
Sikirabanga yamala kiraba bimbo yaganzija nsule wa maama.
Temuli seminti, temuli siiringi, temuli ttaala.
Nti enzikiza.
Bwamanyi.
Ani ana kati kapa yange n'abeerayo ekyayoka.
Kapa ye yakuluma wano.
Bali bamuyita Kiki.
Ewewaka.
Wadda. Kiki yali mutabani wa Chelsea. Chelsea was my first cat. Kiki is the last born of Chelsea.
Sekali. Mwami Nsubuga agambye banoonyeza ne mutatuuka mujja muno.
Ffe baaliko batuwa kaadi.
Muli kuki?
Mukeere gwokka. Bonna bakunoonya.
Hi. How are you?
Nangamba eyo nedda.
How are you doing?
Tolina omuceere ogutaliimu nnyama sigulya nga musiike.
Unbelievable. Ndikula even. So hi guys, how are you doing? I hope you're okay. I'm making it a habit to check on you every day until I get my new phone and start producing content as I should. So this week has been more of a farming week. I think this content might be applicable to people that still have our original food samples. You know, our food that's never been tampered with, you know, the seeds that are purely organic from way back. Where do I start from?
Tukuviire wano okole content.
Nah, it's okay. Totally busy.
Kale sibolere siidi nini.
Jabaleko mumanyi. Hi Kasozi, how are you? How are you doing? Onyuse. Onandeterako emberenge. Anti ngenda va mu live naye kale tuka bulungi. Bye. Ono lwaki tatwala gali amazzi amalala? Magali. So guys, how are you doing? Now, first and foremost, this week has been quite interesting. I've been mostly dealing with people that want farming. I'm going to tell you a simple story about me. I have expertise in about 3 fields, and one of them is actually farming. I am a farmer. I am a professional farmer. Yeah. I grow things time, and then sometimes I grow with people, sometimes I grow by myself. Last year, I only grew for 1 season, but I think this year I'll grow for the rest of the year. Hopefully, starting in November, I'll plant in November. But I want to tell you, the reason most of you are having a produce that requires high maintenance is because you're buying, I wouldn't call them GMOs. GMOs is basically genetically modified produce or stuff like that. But it could be lab infused. Now, there are different types of GMOs. Now, most of us don't, or most of our African countries don't have the pure GMOs. Okay, like the whole other level stuff. Foods have a gestation period. But then there are foods that don't have a gestation. Like you can literally grow something that's supposed to grow in 6 months and grow it in 1 month, even in weeks. Tewali. Agomanju kugali. Abula banange. Gali ani agenda okuganywa. So, when you're buying these seeds that already have been infused in laboratories, they will require a lot of maintenance. Let me give you an example. If you grow up wherever you grew up, when you were younger, before GMOs were a thing, do you remember the foods you had? I'm going to use my country because I am more versatile in my country. When I was growing up, everything we had could grow for a certain period of time. And when you harvested, you can plant the same seeds or whatever off the harvest and plant back. How are you? Sebahien. Sawa. Balinga abatamanyi gye balina kgenda buli omu awanda to express.
tebatera kutuula batuule naye waliyo ebibokisi bingi
Ate enzikiza. So, but if you've noticed, most of the things we plant these days, when you actually harvest them, you can barely get, if you planted the same seeds of your harvest, and you can barely get them to grow again. It's funny. Don't you ask yourself why? And also, the maintaining these crops is so high. Like you have to spray, you have to put the infused fertilizers in the ground, you have to put so many things, you have to spray almost at every turn of this thing. And by the time it's ready for harvesting, it's literally filled with chemicals. And one of the saddest things is these people that actually sell to you these seeds to plant, that sell to you these chemicals to use on these plants. Charlie yeno. Yabadde wansi naye simanyi oba akyaliyo. I'm sorry. Some people just keep asking too many questions. I was still telling you, when it comes to the global market of selling produce, they will never accept that product that they sold to you to grow. Can you imagine? Someone sells to you seeds to plant them and tells you on what chemicals to use on that plant, But when you harvest it and you're looking to sell your produce on a global scale or export it and stuff, they will check it and tell you it is not up to their standards. They'll tell you that it is filled with harmful chemicals. Yeah, you're welcome, Najib. It is so crazy that these people will not take products that they make you grow. They'll test them and tell you that these are chemical infused products. So they cannot take them because they won't survive on a global market, because no one will buy them. Yet they are making you consume them locally at a very high rate. They've convinced you that it is not okay to be patient and wait for the time frame of how things are supposed to grow. Imagine we have things that don't you ever wonder yourself why initially a product or some kind of crop would take 3 months to grow, but now it's going to take 1 month? Don't you wonder why? It's the same thing with all these chickens, Chickens are supposed to take at least 4 months, 5 months, even a year before they are able to be consumed. That is the local breeds. But people are actually selling chicken from chickens that have only been raised for 2-3 weeks. You guys, do you know what that is? Even a month. And the chickens are fat, big, ready to be sold, and you think that's healthy. So we are having a problem. We are having a very big problem because people don't actually know how to decipher these things. They just keep going with what's going on because, oh, I'm so broke, I need money in like a month, let me get these chickens, pump them with drugs, pump, overfeed them, do this, do that, and then eventually, instantly, they are ready to be eaten, and then, you're selling them up, people are getting sick. It's so weird how we have certain diseases in my country. It's diseases that don't even add up. They don't even make sense, There are so many illnesses we have in Africa that we shouldn't be having. I'm not saying the other countries should be having them, but based on our way of life and the way things run, we shouldn't be having certain illnesses, We have so many weird cancers here. It is crazy these days. There are so many things that we've copied and pasted here that are actually killing us. So many of them, I don't know. This is about farming, but it's bigger than farming, because most of you are looking at it from just some basic perspective, but you have to understand that in many ways, the Western culture has gravely affected us, There are so many things they've normalized and deemed important, yet they're actually not. I don't know where to start. I don't know how. Let me give you an example. Do you see, when I was younger, do you see cassava? There is cassava, the gestation period of cassava is supposed to be 1 year. That cassava for 1 year, even if you took 1 year and an extra month, or let's say 14 months, even at 14 months before harvest, you will find that cassava still healthy in the ground. But now they produced a certain cassava that only takes 6 months. That is half the right gestation period of it. The moment that cassava hits 6 months, if you delay by even a couple weeks to harvest it, you are going to find it dead in the ground, like dead. It is the same cassava. That's why you realize that on the market, cassava that is moving, most of it you buy, out of 3 you find 1 or 2 are bitter. They go bitter. The cassava that actually takes 1 year only gets bitter if extremely harmed. You know, they would tell us that, oh, don't throw the cassava down, don't heat it down, it will become sour. But even as a child, you would end up throwing it sometimes, but they would still eat it and it's not bitter. You know, there were many ways to make that cassava unbitter in case it became bitter, but it was still very healthy. But the cassava on the market these days, you guys, it's crazy, yeah. It's crazy. So it's just an example of one of the foods on the market that's actually been corrupted. Because ideally, the concept of growing it and it grows so quickly is beautiful. But if you're looking at it from a business perspective, you will harvest this cassava. If you don't have a buyer immediately who is going to consume it immediately, you will stand to lose a lot of money. A lot of these things are good for business because of the time frame, but then again, they are also not healthy. They are also, in a way, they can cost you way more than you would anticipate to lose. There are so many things, man. There's so many things on the market, you know. We have pumpkins. When I was growing up, we had a certain pumpkin, you know. I call it the mother. That mother pumpkin you would plant it, it would grow. When I was growing up, my entire life, I never thought a time would come. I never thought a time would come when you actually grow a pumpkin and you have to get some dry plants and put under it. So contact with the soil actually rots the fruit. Hi, Sheka Chandra. How are you? And the pumpkins we had growing up were of thick skin. They would literally grow, touch the ground, no one cared. And when it was ready to be harvested, you just pick it up. No rotting, nothing. Nothing. Because they were already designed to withstand whatever would affect them, and nothing would get through to them. Like nothing. That pumpkin would only rot if you cut it open and just abandoned it there without preserving it. And it would still take some time. I'm okay. How are you doing? All I'm saying is farming is simple only if you're using the seeds of long ago. The seeds of long ago are still on the market. They still exist. You just have to go to different locations. There are locations that have actually not been touched by modern farming. There are areas that still have our traditional seeds. I think I'm actually thinking about this. I want to see if I can actually start collecting some of our original seeds, you know. There are so many things on the market. There are so many things we've normalized that actually not healthy, that are not good. Look at the lemons of these days. They're crazy. They have no taste. They don't even have seeds. This is where we are. I'm passionate about farming, you know. The old lemon is still there, but that old lemon is very bitter, but it's also very good for your kidneys and very good for your gallbladder. This new lemon, I don't even know what it does. All I'm saying is we are moving into a time that most European countries already moved in. If you interact with people in the Western world, Europe, the US, most of them, ask them about fruits, just fruits. How does this, that's why when they come down to certain African countries, they are amazed because they'll tell you, I never tasted a pineapple that tastes like this. I've never seen this in my life. Exactly. Our indigenous seeds are the real deal. They are purely organic. They are very easy to grow. They are cheap to grow. You know, you don't have to spray. You know, all these things come with consequences. The more, you know, most of you go in markets and you're looking for big things. I want the biggest watermelon. I want the biggest Even the tomatoes that are on the market these days, they're all crazy. They're filled with so many drugs. Do you know tomatoes are the most unhealthy fruit on the market in Uganda right now? To actually eat a tomato, you'd have to wash it like 10 times and probably peel the skin off. Can you imagine? Because some of these tomatoes are sprayed from birth. The moment the what? The moment you make a nursery bed like this, you start spraying a tomato. You spray it every 2 weeks. Some even spray every week. Because the moment it rains, you have to go back and spray them. I swear to God, if you fail to do so, you will not harvest anything. Why is that so? Because we've moved away from our traditional seeds. You know, these days it's even close to impossible. Viva. Someone here is telling me that the soil is dead. Ow! Hey. Douglas, ogenda wa? Oba laptop yange nagirese ku desk yange. Andrea Judgins desire. The soil is dead, yes, but the soil is never dead. All you have to do to maintain your soil, one, you have to use a tractor once in a while. And then two, if you don't want to use a tractor, you're supposed to leave the land. If you cultivate for 2 to 3 seasons on a piece of land, leave it virgin for another 2 seasons. Let the grass grow, let nothing, everything, just leave it and grow on another piece of land. And then circle back. You have to keep circling back. And when you come back to actually grow on it, you need to do a certain type of farming. I don't know, if you can't afford a tractor, there is another form of farming. It's, I don't know how they call it in English, but in my language, we call it okukabala, right? You have to get whatever you used to dig and then dig deep and turn the soil. You need to turn the soil. Yeah, soil in Africa is better because of the weather. It's just the weather. The weather in Africa is more friendly for agriculture, you know. But then they've already taught our African people that farming is for local people and failures. They don't want to farm anymore. No one wants to farm. And our African countries have not even invested or put any funding in farming. So people go to farm, and even when they go to farm, they are not getting anything out of it. So they just leave it alone. You know, the cost of food in Africa is way higher than it should be. Even when you people that come to Africa think it's very cheap, because in your countries you don't actually have food like we do. It is still expensive. It shouldn't be, you know. Yes, Chandra. What kind of companies do you own? You know? No, farming, right? Farming is something you have to do because you actually want. Farming, for example, in my country, very few people look at farming as, very few people farm professionally. Sorry, grown men are screaming. I don't know why they can't shut up. Quite interesting. Yeah, funding, not yet. When I'm ready, if you're still on my channel, I'll let you know, but not yet. I don't need farming funding right now. Unless you're just going to do a bit of charity here and there for people to actually get into farming, Maybe we can just get them those traditional seeds and then we empower them. But I'm not going to go farming right now. Thank you. I usually tell people, buy super thanks from me if you appreciate me that much. I'm always giving free information. Unbelievable. You people won't buy super thanks. Alhaz, how are you? Farming isn't easy, especially when you are not on ground. Yes, that is true. Farming is easier when you're on ground. If you're on ground, yeah, obviously you get to spearhead your own things. Remember, like I said, if you are passionate, if you are passionate about farming, the first thing about farming is you have to have the love for it. Even if you're doing it professionally, for money, you have to love it. Farming is not one of those office jobs that you just do like a drone just to do it. Farming is it's like life. You're bringing life into this world. So you have to be passionate about it. You need to give it your all. So being on ground is one of those things. You have to be interested because you will take care of those plants very well. Even if someone else is doing all the heavy lifting, but you will be very keen. The people you're paying to do this farming thing for you, thank you, Shadra. The people you're paying will not be as passionate as you because for them, this is just a job. Let me give you an instance. If you wake up in the morning and you open up a business, you have to open up that business because you love it, because it's what you want, and then employ people to help you along your path of what you want. Don't expect the people you've paid to actually be passionate about this business. This is exactly why there are rules and regulations in place. This is why there are objectives. This is why people get audited, fired, appraised, stuff like that. Because you can't expect them to have your passion. This is just a job for them. You understand? So you sit over there and you send money over here to someone to go farm for you. This is not their idea. It has to be their idea. Exactly. So this person is just going to do it just to do it because money, there is money in it. You need to be involved. Even if you're not on ground, you need to be on phone all the time. You need to be on call all the time. Video them, see what they're doing. Just be up on their ass all the damn time. But if you trust someone with your dream, don't expect them to make it a success. This is your dream. This is your dream. It's not their dream. You don't even know where their mind's at. You just know what they tell you. And they can pretty much tell you anything just because they want money or they want to get ahead of you or to get ahead of the game or something like that. You definitely do it in India. Indians are very passionate about a lot of things. Nature is one of those things. And this is not just about farming, even construction, everything is easier if you are directly involved. If you are sitting on the sidelines and trusting, then you cannot get where you want to get. That's just how life works, It's just how life works. You can't do much about it. They're the dynamics of life. So farming, hello. Honey? Bakiride. Farming is easy if you just do the following stuff. Very simple. One, look for traditional seeds. These traditional seeds, the most you can actually do is maybe spray a pesticide. Just that. But still, you don't have to do much. You just have to weed on time. Make sure you weed because those who are very particular at weeding. Weed on time, get traditional seeds, our indigenous seeds. You leave all these over modified things, man. Hi, Third World Wonder. Oh, yes, I'm at work, but I'm about to leave. So basically, one, get indigenous seeds. Two, weed on time. Three, make sure as you till your land, turn the soil. Don't just dig on the outside. Make sure you turn that soil. Make it turn, and then leave it to rest for some time. Don't till and then plant immediately. You need brain in that soil. You need to try and train your plants to adjust to the natural ways, because if you plant something and immediately the land was already dry, it wasn't wet enough, then you start spraying with water and stuff. Is it called spraying? Irrigating. You start irrigating immediately. What's going to happen is this plant is going to be used to be irrigated. Honestly, it's like, by the way, it is so funny, but somehow it's like training a dog or some kind of pet. If you make the nature take care of this plant, you don't have to do much. But if you put yourself in the positions of nature, you will spend more, because I don't think you have the power nature does. So try to adjust. Wait for the seasons to be right. You are only supposed to assist, not to do the whole thing. I understand some of you can plant and then nature disappoints you. That's understandable. But you haven't even trusted nature one bit. You are just irrigating from the word jump. Immediately, this plant is going to expect. If you are watering this plant twice a week, this plant is going to expect rain twice a week. It is hard to predict that it will rain twice a week wherever you are. This season right now, it will rain, right? But also understand that a season like this is also very dangerous for your plants. True. You people don't understand. These seeds that you're buying from, I don't know where you're buying them from. They're telling you this one will grow faster, this one will turn this color. They are nice, but they have their setbacks. They have their setbacks. And their setbacks are, they'll cost you so much there's so many chemicals, man. The problem is the chemicals, and these chemicals cost money, and they are very harmful, even to the person you're employing to actually spray. They're harmful to them. This is why you'll find people's nails falling out. You'll find you haven't seen these things because maybe some of you just operate on phone. You just say, "Your money, go spray." Or buy this or that. You haven't seen, these people are going through so much. I once met a guy whose nails had fallen out. Bakiridde mbadde manyi bazzeewo. Simanyi. Abale kufumba. Tali eno, walai. Agenze ne Douglas once. Yes, terrace gardening. That's quite cute. So, like I said, nature, try to trust nature. That means planning for seasons. Understand the seasons. Seasons have changed. Hold on. Why do they just deduct money whenever they feel like? Nice to know you too. So trust the seasons, plan and study them. Nature has changed, truly. Because I know most of you that have winter, normally you're not having it. When you're supposed to have summer, you're having a bit of winter, and then you're having autumn. It's crazy, it's mixed up, it's all over. So you have to understand, be patient and study nature right now. I've studied mine in my country. Now I know. That's why I didn't grow a lot of food last year. So I was more on the sidelines trying to understand what's happening with the seasons. Yeah, that's okay. Thank you. And yeah, God bless you too. So study nature, rely on your indigenous plants. As you till your land, turn it. Don't just till on the top, turn it. And if you don't have harmful grass on your land, bury it. As you till, bury it. Let it rot and create for you that compost. You need it. It's the most healthy. Another mistake some of you make in the farming, some of you that have this waste that you use as manure. We have different waste. Animal waste, it can be. Now, you see, some of the things you are planting, you're not supposed to put animal waste as fertilizers. You know that? Especially fruits that are exposed. What do I mean by fruits that are exposed? We have watermelons, we have tomatoes. A tomato is a vegetable. We have pineapples are strong, they are good. Oh, okay, fruit that is exposed, that you don't have, doesn't have a hard shell. When you put animal waste and you just pour it there, it's going to attract all types of flies. Some of these flies are what is actually making your things sick. Your fruits are getting sick because of the flies that are being attracted by your exposed manure. Exactly. These same weeds, as you weed, you can just bury them. Especially, there are those that are dangerous that grow so deep. Those ones you can burn them, and make sure you're burning them on your own land. Don't burn them on the side. When you burn that grass on your land, it actually balances the pH of the soil automatically. Automatically. I'm going to tell you something funny. Oh, thank you, Chandra, for being around. It was nice to have you. That's okay. I'm not in a rush to do anything. Like I was telling you. So if you actually put animal waste on your whatever plants you're carrying, you have to also apply a layer, an added layer of soil. Literally, an added layer of soil. You have to put your manure next to your plant and then add soil. There, the different flies that will be attracted will not stay long. They will come and look and can't find what they're looking for, and they will move on. And those will be the first flies. When those ones are not somewhere, the small flies will not come. They will not come. You know, some of you you're not inspecting your gardens. You have things rotting in your own garden. And these some things, there is a thing that is attracted to that rotting fruit. If it comes and it can't find another rotting fruit, just that one, it will literally go and sit. It won't even bite on it. It will literally come, eat the rotting one, and then sit on the healthy one. And that one will rot too. So everything that fly touches starts to rot. I have no idea how, but I've studied on the weird fly man. So when you inspect your gardens, weed your gardens, weed them. There are few things that can survive in the weeds, but there are very few, and they have to be high plants, you know, because those ones now, they are the dogs. They can't compete for minerals with the what? Hi, It's okay, Haz. I'm actually about to end the live anyway. I've given you way too much information. But sometimes I wake up and I just want to give you information. It's just one of those days. Catch you later. So like I was saying, the reason we weed, we keep the garden clean, we weed it, it's to avoid competition between the plant you're trying to grow and the weeds. The weeds will win because they are more. Remember, you probably have 1 or 2 plants per hole, and the weeds are coming like 10 around, or 5 or 6 around that plant. And each of them is fighting for minerals because each of them wants to survive. So when you leave the weeds there to compete with your plant or your fruits or something, especially those short fruits, beans, they are going to lose. And then you're going to realize that your harvests are either too small in the pods, or maybe they are not there, they didn't form well. It's weird. Nutrients, lack of nutrients. I don't know if my shit makes sense, but that's just about it. Thank you for watching DOREEN'S African Experiences. If you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe. I love you all, and you take care of yourselves. We'll be talking more. There is so much to talk about. This big head has so much information. All right, bye.